Wesley, who is on the phone with us right now, he started a trucking company almost 11 years ago. And Landon, who's on the phone, and that's called Rangeway. Landon, who's on the phone, he has a company that we met through our connections that has a kind of like a model where we match make trucking companies with drivers. So he has a network of about 125,000 drivers. So he's kind of our fulfillment on the driver side. And he also helps bring on owner operators to put into our model. Once we met Wesley, he kind of saw what we were doing with automation model and saw a way to kind of help scale his business and bring in more of a crowdfunding model. And he's put up 30 of his existing trucks through Rangeway. 20 of the trucks are going to be more on the passive side. And then 10 of the trucks is going to be more on kind of a lease to purchase model where you can come on and lease to purchase one of his existing trucks that's already been running, doing flatbeds and, heavy haul. He has a lot of dedicated lanes and a lot of dedicated freight that he's moving all over the southeast part of the country. These two guys are coming up to Minnesota. Actually, we're looking at buying a trucking company up in Minnesota here. Another person that we've met over the year that he runs a successful company that he's just getting old and he wants to kind of get out of the business. So we're looking at taking over his company. But Wesley, maybe you can go first and kind of this is Nico, by the way. Nico, we have Wesley and Landon on the call here. But Wesley, maybe you can kind of just let Nico a little bit about yourself and what you've done over the past 11 years.
Hey, Nico, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'll go ahead and I'll warn you if you hear a child yelling in the background, it's mine.
It's all good.
But yeah, home today. The wife had to go help take care of her mother for a little while. But nice to meet you. So I started a flatbed company December of 2012. We started out with 2 trucks, a couple step deck trailers, if you're familiar, and we really grew from there. Over the years, we've grown a couple times and cut back a couple times and kind of restructured how we had trailers versus owner operators versus company trucks, and have figured out where we think the good mix is and where things are right now, especially, and where growth is kind of coming for the future. And it really, it all starts obviously with the driver. Without the drivers, we don't do anything. Retaining good drivers is super important. But from the business side of it, of how do we keep those drivers happy, making good paychecks, it all went straight to making sure we have the right customers. So we've had a big focus the last few years on who our best customers were and who were the ones that were willing to, dedicate for us, that gave the driver more predictable time home, more predictable paychecks, all that stuff. So we've been really focused on that. We've got 43 trucks over the road right now, about 86 trailers. And we're looking to scale and do it kind of the right way, rather than, I could go buy a bunch of trucks and just put them on the road. But I think this partnership helps us, both from Landon's perspective of recruiting the drivers to go in some new assets, but also to help kind of get us there more quickly and keep us focused on having the right freight, driver retention, things of that nature that we've built over the last 11 years. So happy to answer any questions if you got about us on the trucking side or how we operate or things that we do. But I'd say, we've learned some lessons through the years that, like I say, we're ready to kind of go ahead and move forward with some growth, offering up the couple packages like Anton was mentioning, some existing passive stuff to kind of help us set the table for the growth. And then I've got 10 trucks right now that we've earmarked for a lease purchase type program. That middle package that we could have the truck on the road. It's ready. It's got plates on it. It's got a headache rack. It's ready to go. We place a driver in it once we have a commitment, and we'll put that thing to work really quickly. We've got dedicated customers that are begging for us to keep growing with them. It's a large corporate, national, really worldwide brand that they've got a hiring freeze for vendors on right now. And we're able to go into different facilities and dedicate 3 to 5 trucks that we've done throughout the Southeast. So that's kind of one of our groups. And then we've got just your traditional over the road freight. And, flatbed's pretty strong rate wise. It's stronger than really any other freight out there. But then we take it kind of to a next tier just based off where we're based out of, which is Birmingham, Alabama. It's kind of the flatbed freight mecca, I would say, of really the country. There's a few other pockets that do it really well, but we've been able to go and get rates that are above average. That just helps. We can run less miles for more rate per mile, cuts down on wear and tear of the truck. Like I say, cuts down on the driver being gone. Drivers are home every weekend, which is a big deal, even the guys that are over the road. So we feel like we've got a good recipe to put together and continue that growth.
Most definitely. When you said the lease to purchase, because that would be option 2 in the package, correct?
Correct.
So the option 2, how many would you be able to lease at one time?
For an individual like you?
Yes. Just
we really don't have a cap on how many any individual could do. That'll just be your opinion. We've got up to 10 available, right? Which I know that's a lot, but if you want to, jump in and do 2, we're happy to do that. Or if you wanted to jump in and do 1 and see how it went for, a period of time, and then either, have another one in that or go to the bigger package down the road once you're getting the revenue in from it. We're really kind of open to either or on our end. It doesn't impact us. We're just happy to get them running as quick as we can, because those are definitely the quickest to revenue, because they're ready. I took some pictures of them yesterday. We've got 5 of them that we've already ran through the shop. So we're going through everything on the truck that we can. We're placing a aftermarket warranty on all of them, to where if you have any, not us internally, obviously have to go buy that from somebody else, but we're getting a premium 2000 warranty on it for 2 years, to where if engine failure, after treatment failure, transmission, any of the things that could be a big ticket item, there's not going to be a catastrophic failure that impacts you as an investor and the revenue you get back out of it.
Most definitely. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, that was really one of the main questions I had, how much you would be able to lease at one time. So I see that you guys are partnered with, automation lending company, so to speak, something capital. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but
it's called Prosperity Capital.
Prosperity Capital. Yep. So you'll be able to go through them as soon as you put in a pre-approval and maybe get the funding. You'll just be able to send the invoice over to me, then I'll be able to send it directly to you, or do you guys work straight with the bank as soon as I turn in the signatures and the approval process goes through?
Yeah, well, what happens there is 2 of our funding partners. One is Prosperity Capital, like you said. They specialize in just helping individuals get into the automation space. His name is Jeremy. We actually have a really good relationship with him. They do loans a little bit different. They have credit card stacking, where they can either help you get 0% interest credit cards, and they stack them, and they can get you, depending on what your credit is at, they can get you as much credit as they possibly can through credit card stacking at 0%. And then they also do like a traditional line of credit or a traditional loan. On that one, they charge like an origination fee. So if you apply and you get $100,000, if you apply through your business, they charge a 3% fee off that 100,000. If you do it through a personal, they do a 6% fee. So it is better to do it through the business if you do have one of those set up yet. And then basically you just get the money directly deposited in your bank within probably 3 days. And then we basically just invoice you directly, and then you'll use the money that you got from them to pay the invoice. And then you're essentially going to have a monthly payment to whatever. They're kind of like a broker. So they'll go find the best terms that they can find for you. So they use different lenders and stuff. So we ended up, applying for a loan for them for 50 grand and got approval within the next day. And we got our check or money deposited in the bank within, 2 or 3 days. So, but yeah, that's kind of how that works. We also use Fund and Grow. Fund and Grow is more of just an upfront fee. They charge $3,500 upfront, and then they start the process. They only do credit card stacking. So in those 3 years, in that first year, they'll do a round of funding on day 1, 6 months down the road, and then a year down the road. So they'll essentially get you 3 rounds of funding through that time. And then, the day 1, depending on how your credit is, we've seen anywhere from, 50,000 up to well over $100,000 on that first round of funding, just depending on kind of where your credit's at. And then from that money, you can obviously, use your credit cards to either, pay us for the invoice that way. There's a a service called Plastique that you can use to wire funds through your credit cards. And that's also an option too. So, yeah. So that's kind of how that works.
Most definitely. So, just another thing. So when you're, you can go ahead.
Oh, no, then you could also, honestly just go through the bank if your credit's good enough, and you could go get a loan through the bank or whatever too, if that's maybe easier for you, depending on, what your credit looks like.
No, that would be, I would just wonder, do they allow personal guarantee? So when going through your LLC, would they be allowable, personal guarantee? I'll be able to put my personal credit score in the background of the LLC.
Yep, that's usually how it works. Depending on what your personal credit is at, that's usually what they go off of. So they'll go off of that. And
then other than the 680 plus for, under 3 years of business for the business loan, I want to say.
Yeah.
Or so to speak. So under 3 years of business is the only requirements already listed inside of that chart that they had, or is there other requirements like maybe 2 years of credit card history and for the credit report?
Usually they'll kind of let you know, especially Fund and Grow. You can get on like a free consultation call with them and call them.
Okay.
You'll pull up like a credit authorization form with them, and they'll look at your credit, and they'll let you know exactly what you either need to do, or if you have some inquiries you need to remove, or any derogatory marks. They work with a credit company called Kadam Credit. So they'll help you kind of situate your credit in the position to get the best results out of it. So it really depends. Do you have a business that's older than 2 years old?
No, not at the moment. It's definitely not more than 2 years old.
Yeah.
Not the one I was gonna use, if that makes. Yeah. So so I was just wondering about that, but I was gonna make a way, basically.
Yeah. On the trucking side, do you have any other questions for actually, Landon? Do you want to introduce yourself and kind of so Landon and Wesley, we've actually created a company that we're kind of working together in this, and Landon is more of the recruitment side of it and the driver retention, and he also brings in a lot of really good relationships to us on the trucking companies that potentially have trucks that they don't want to run anymore, or they need help, or they're done. So he's bringing in a lot of relationships through that way, where we can bring in more trucks into the Wesley's fleet to kind of help through this as well. But Wesley, do you want to let Nico know a little bit about yourself and what your role is?
Yeah, Landon.
Absolutely, Nico. Pleasure to meet you. Happy Saturday to you, man.
Nice to meet you. Happy Saturday.
Absolutely, dude. Hey, this is worth the call. There's a lot of potential here, right? Let's just go ahead and make the decision. We're done. Let's go. No, in all seriousness, I've been in the trucking industry 14 years, served in every facet of it, and over the last 5-6 years, just been hyper focused in more or less driver recruiting through digital marketing and AI technology through our smartphone app that I helped develop. Founder of the company Team Loaded, which is really the heartbeat of it, is reverse recruiting, AI driven software, and then a driver community, over 120,000 drivers, plus the data that we capture every day as well. So my main responsibility is to continue to recruit the targeted drivers for this specific investment, which is OTR flatbed drivers, no matter where they're at in the country. And to have success in driver recruiting and retention, and that recurring revenue coming in with extreme confidence and predictability, also scalability, is to have an active driver pipeline. Literally every day we have a community of drivers that anytime we can call upon. Every day we have drivers wanting us to help them place them. And how our technology works, and if we have time I can show you, but how the technology works is that we have subscribers like Wesley and I have been working together for some time to fill his fleet before this relationship. So we both know the successes of literally how to fill his trucks. And so we've worked hard to build a community of those drivers. And the way it works is Wesley's filled out his profile, his application person, telling us about his company, telling us about what he needs, telling us obviously about the driver. And what that does is launches the account inside the smartphone app. So he literally manages the recruiting department. You can see the active driver pipeline at any time on your phone and see the real-time numbers. So as an investor, all right, they got my back. There's plenty of drivers. My truck's going to keep rolling. You know what I mean? We want to be that transparent, integrous and show you that we're doing our job to fulfill this major investment for you. It's a big deal. And so with that, the driver also, we do paid advertising through Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Reels, Stories, Messenger, all day, every day. Acquiring drivers that download our app for free. We serve them for free. It's the 18 loaded driver community. And in that, we make it very clear when you set up your profile as a driver, they answer the same questions Wesley did, but it's relative to the driver. But the drop down answers are the same, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So think of both parties setting up their Uber account, putting the app on their phone. And every time we recruit a driver, their app is automatically vetted from our system. We call it reverse recruiting because now the AI matches the answers. Driver A is looking at
Okay.
Wesley.
Mhm.
Driver A. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so if you think about it, it's you opening up Uber and seeing your pool of drivers that you can choose from and accept a ride from them, if that makes sense.
Mm.
On the
That's
flip
cool.
side, the driver themselves is open up to see who they can pick up with. You know what I mean? So that's the same concept of how the AI works. And we match 5 main foundational criteria. 1, obviously the right driver, OTR. 2, they want to haul flatbed because that requires 9 months plus of experience for us. We need safety. Safety is key in the heartbeat. You can have a driver in the truck. And Wesley, I need to add to this. If you're not safe, it doesn't matter if you have a driver, you're not running. And so, the Wesley does a fantastic job with that. But other criteria is they're in the right location for home time being easy every weekend to keep the retention. They can have fun with their family, not be gone too long, but still make great money. And then number 4, we want to make sure they have the experience. And 5, that they're safe background. If they answer those questions that match Wesley's profile, they're automatically sent. And Wesley gets in his pipeline a notification on his phone, opens it up, sees the answers, and then he can choose to make that phone call. But at the same time, the driver got Wesley's information too, because he wants to talk to someone like Wesley that has the job that he just told the system that he wants. And so the system will do what you tell the system to do. And so then the driver is told to call Wesley. We call it reverse recruiting. We have 2 grown people that may want to work together, let them have a good conversation like we're having now, and then make a decision. And so we make it very easy for 2 people to find each other. That's the heartbeat of it. Get out of this rat race of recruiting and truly build on relationship in a community that wants a relationship with Wesley. And so reverse recruiting, we serve the driver only, but the system serves Wesley by sending the driver to them automatically, if that makes sense. And so that's a little overview, but when it comes to, with the driver that's hired, the last part before I shut up, is that we already have automatic and automated AI retention campaigns and referral campaigns built on the back end. So when Wesley tells the system the driver's hired, the automated 1-year-long retention campaign launches automatically. Wesley does nothing. And then the very first message is that Wesley personally, through pre-written automation that we do, all of it's already done. But through that, it's literally a welcome message, but it's also a referral request. So we're automating the ability for Wesley to get free drivers. So maybe he can get 2 for 1. We bring down that driver acquisition cost and allowing us to have greater margins in this investment opportunity, if that makes sense. The average acquisition cost in the industry is $4,800-ish. Wesley, correct me if I'm wrong, but now, we're seeing even proven data of $1,400 or less in driver acquisition. So we've significantly decreased that by 70+%. And so that's the power of the system. Its job is to simply put drivers in a truck, keep them, and make money every week. So I hope that helps a little bit. There's more that the system can do, such as if you would like your own company website with a new LLC, we have that for you. It automatically builds that, customize it, integrate it with your app on your phone. You have full visibility of your drivers and anybody that needs to see your websites. If you have a different opportunity or need to leverage the company, you're easy to find. You have social media tools, and you have a company website if you choose.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Landon, for that. I appreciate it. And Nico, that's one of the main reasons we're really excited for the 3-way partnership that we have between Wesley and Landon and ourselves. Eric and I started TED Talks Automation probably a year ago. And like I said, through the channel, we not only bring in, partners like yourself, but also just bring in the relationships of the truckers, the trucking companies, and You know, the ability to have all three parts of it, have the trucking company that actually fulfills on the partner's needs and getting them passive income with Wesley. We have the whole driver side down with Landon, where he can go out and make sure that we always have drivers in the truck. And then, you know, we've kind of had the perfect system, you know, built out right now. And it's taken us about a year to get to this point. I mean, we didn't really start kind of getting into the trucking automation until about 6 months ago. But now that we've kind of got all the pieces in place, there's not another trucking automation company out there right now that has trucks ready on the road right now that people can get into within, you know, depending on how fast, you know, things move with you and the investor, and, you know, getting the driver in there, you know, 30 to 45 days is pretty normal, just to kind of get things rolling. So we're pretty excited about this partnership that we have. And, you know, I think there's no one in the country that actually has what we have right now. So we're pretty excited.
Most definitely, yeah. Yeah, I'm with it. Yeah, it sounds very, 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 very exciting. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah,
Yeah.
most definitely. I'm gonna get on to it ASAP. Yeah, y'all pretty
Yeah.
much answered all my questions that I would have. So with between the retention and the matchmaking between the partners.
Yep.
And yeah, it's just all good. I appreciate the information.
Yeah, absolutely. So are you right now, you just need to get the funding and then ready to go? How is your credit looking? Pretty good right now?
Yes, it's enough, most definitely for the requirements. It's definitely there already. I just wanted to get a few questions answered, but you guys already answered them. They said he had 5 to 10 trucks already ready to go on the road. You can
Yeah.
lease as many as you want to.
Yep.
The funding questions already got answered. The retention questions already got answered. Yeah, it was all perfect. Yeah, it's all the information I needed.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. You know, if you need any help on the funding side, I have one other gentleman that his name is Mike Irizani. He's more of like a hands-on you know, credit building. He does both of the credit help. He helps you build your credit and build these relationships with the different banks and stuff. He's more hands-on with you. He's kind of like the white glove service of credit. He's a great guy to work with. The last guy, Jermaine, that we worked with, I think he helped him get close to $100,000, you know, within a few months. So, you know, he's another option I can introduce you to if you're interested. But he's a great guy to talk to and see if that's something that might fit with what you're doing.
I got you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. What do you do right now?
I actually drive trucks right now. So yeah, I'm
Oh, you
actually a
do?
driver. Yeah, I'm
Oh, no
actually a
way.
driver for a company right now. Yeah, most definitely.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, hey man, if you're ever interested in come driving for us, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
double down. Get on the road, make you about another 2,500 a week. Get a 10 grand pocket on the road, and get the investment.
Wesley,
Yeah, that's what
maybe
I
What
was
else?
thinking too. Yeah.
can you do flatbeds?
No, I've actually never done a frat. It's just been a dry vans and maybe a couple reefer.
Okay.
But
All right, you're sorry.
it's all good.
Yeah, but yeah, there might be an opportunity down the road if if you start doing this passively, you're probably not going to want to drive again, to be honest.
No.
Is that why you're kind of looking at this? Is because you want to, just create that passive income through trucking because the money is in it, but you probably want to get out of that seat, I'm guessing.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, I do want to get out the seat, but yeah, all this sounds perfect. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Awesome. Yeah, so we'll send some we can send some P&Ls to you. Once Eric is the one that kind of sends out the email with all the information. We can send out some P&Ls of Wesley's current trucks and kind of what they've done. And then we can send you also the links to the Fund and Grow Prosperity. And then are you on WhatsApp? I can create like a chat with Mike and Oscar if you want for the credit as well. So we can kind of go from there, man.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm not on WhatsApp at the moment, but I can always get it down. So
Yeah. I'll shoot you. I'll shoot you a text message so that you have my number and stuff, and then I can send you an invite to a WhatsApp chat with us so we can keep an open line of communication there.
got you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Wesley, any final words? Landon, any final words? Or Nico, do you have anything else you'd like to say, man?
No, I'm all good.
Awesome.
Good. Nice to meet you, Nico.
Nice to meet you.
Let us know if you have any questions.
Dude, this comes from the driver, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? biased, but much respect to you being on the road, man. Thanks for being on the
I
road. That's a
appreciate
big
that.
deal.
Thank
And
you.
so
I
excited
appreciate that.
to hopefully work with you, man.
Real soon, real soon.
Awesome. Well, you have a great
Have a
day,
good
my
weekend.
man. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we will talk soon, sir.
Thank you. Nice to meet all of you. I appreciate that.
Yep, you got it, brother. Have a great day.
You too.
All right, bye-bye.